Hey, it's Wes, and we are back once again, and we are here today talking about Prismari. I've already knocked out the Silver Quill, the Lorehold, and now I'm at the Prismari deck. Um, if I was to summarize them so far, Silver Quill is just consistent, good across the board. Lorehold, if I had some different cards, it could be really, really strong, and there's some things in it as it is okay. But I'm going to tell you right now, Prismari's fun. That's all there is to it. I don't have the dragon, but man, this deck is a blast. And this is one of those. I don't want to say it's a combo deck, but I have finished off a lot of people with Crackle, with Power, and Culmination of Studies. Um, I'm gonna tell you right out the gate, this particular feature where you can create the artifact tokens, that is very, very important. You can do it with a Creative Outburst, Magma Opus. I think that's the only ones right off. And Prismari Command. All of these can do it. And what you wind up doing is you're getting yourself a continued lead. I've been using a lot of the learns to actually pull out the environmental sciences. That way you got a solid mana base. Because man, this is a solid, very very heavy mana based deck. But if you take a look at this, let's just go through the cards themselves. First and foremost, of course, I've got a Prismari Campus, Frostboil Snarl. I got one of those. Tin Mountain, Tin Island. I've got Expressive Iteration. It's a sorcery. Look at the top three cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand, one into the bottom of your library, and exile one of them. You may play the exiled card this turn. And what I've been doing with that a lot of times is I will actually hold onto a card in my hand and like a land, and I'll cast this knowing that I will put one card in my hand, which is usually a big banger type card, something like Magma Opus or Crackle with Power, and then I'll turn right around and put something back in the library. But when I go to exile the one, remember you can cast that one that's exiled. I'll use it to put a land in play. That way I've still got a land in my hand and I'm building toward this. Prismari Apprentice is, I'm not going to lie to you, there's some of the other ones I like more, but the fact that if you're casting a 5 or greater mana spell, it puts a +1/+1 counter, and the fact that she becomes unblockable. That's really good. Teach by example, I don't know. I like and I hate this card all at the same time. It's kind of one of those situations where I like to drop it because you can trigger the Magecraft real easy. But I've had it in the deck. I've had it out of the deck. It's the problem with it is that when you really get down to it, it more or less has the same ability as Rutha, so it's kind of redundant. And it's a 2-drop. Rutha's ability is a 2-drop. The problem with Rutha is, of course, you then have to get her back into play the next turn with another 3 mana. This here is a little more direct. We'll just trim it back down to get me back down to 60. Teach by example, of course. Ingenious Inspiration. Of course, it's a learn spell. I tag these a lot of times together. That way I can pull 2 spells out of my sideboard. We've got Prismari Command. Rutha, of course. Spectacle Mage. Maelstrom Muse. I had more of him, but he doesn't stay in play very long. I've noticed that. Practical Research. I just put this in here, and this is the thing. I keep tinkering with this deck, and every time I tinker with it, I love it more and more. So it's just one of those things. Most everything in here is either about drawing cards or doing some type of damage. Creative Outburst. This is another one of those ones that you can cycle. It costs a lot. 7 mana, but it deals 5 damage to any target. And you can look at the top 5 cards of your library. Put one of them in your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. And so you can use it in a lot of different ways. It, of course, for that reason is good. Magma Opus, once again, 4 damage divided as you choose. Tap 2 target permanents, create a 4/4 blue and red elemental, and draw 2 cards. That's just so much that it does. And it is an 8-drop. These are some big spells. Crackle with Power. This is the one I've been mostly, pop one more in, been mostly trying to build toward. And the way this plays out, it does work. And then, of course, Culmination of Studies. I love this card. Wish I had more of it. Exile the top X cards of your library. For each land card exiled this way, create a treasure token. For each blue card exiled this way, draw a card. For each red card exiled this way, Culmination of Studies deals 1 damage to each opponent. That is absolutely amazing. I love it. It is a fantastic spell. I've actually closed out a lot of games with this. And of course, obviously, Crackle with Power is going to be closing out games as well. But this, as just a pure Strixhaven deck, is just absolutely amazing. Let's jump into a little. Alright, so we are going to go ahead and jump right in here real quick. This deck, it struggles against a lot of your creature focused decks because it doesn't have a lot of removal. And you know how it is. It's the rock, paper, scissors game. Right now, it's definitely on the weaker end compared to a lot of different decks that are out there. At the same time, it has got a lot of things that are going for it as well. So, just kind of one of those situations. It is what it is. We just kind of put our head down and keep plowing away. This guy's probably running a white life gain of some sort. I've seen a ton of those today. Get that into play. Our next drop, we'll be able to get our bird shaman into play. The one after that, very likely the same thing. He's just a common card, but he does help on getting a lot of your bigger spells off the anything with mana value 5 or greater costs 1 less to cast. That's great. Absolutely amazing. Alright, so we have got we'll drop that into play. Got a little spider bro calling up my wall. As long as he stays up there, I'm alright. Stay away, spider bro. Stay away. I'm not going to bother to block that. Oh, very nice. Yeah, that's going to be the right move. His ability is very nice. And we're just going to attack with all. Maybe I need to consider bumping more of him back into the deck. He definitely helps get some of these higher end attacks off. There's no doubt about that. Probably going to be the Maelstrom, Maelstrom Muse, yeah. Exiled. get our hands on. Ooh, creative outburst. We will put that into our hand. And these, of course, are the same thing, so not as important. 1, 2, 5. Play that, so we'll go all attack. And end turn. Non-creature spells this next turn for me are going to be a little tougher to get into play, so I have to keep that in mind. I may decide to go ahead and just cast Rutha instead. Probably going to ding me for 3. Pass. My turn. Alright, there we go. We will go ahead and get Rutha into play. And we will go ahead and attack with all. The next turn, let's see what's it do next. Return target creature or planeswalker from your graveyard. What does he have in here? Probably Shambling Suit. Ooh, could be that one. Yep. That's what I would have done. Well, that sucks. But it is what it is. You know what? We need to go ahead and cast this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jump it up by 5. Up 7. Oh, nice. We have got not enough. 2, 4. All attack. Very nice. I think we got enough damage to pull it off. Just by the skin of our teeth. Barring him being able to pull something out here, which he's tapped out, so I couldn't think of anything he could pull out. guess we just wait now. Checking out the cards, double looking them over. Realizing there's not much he can do. Alright, we'll go ahead and hit the next. Good game. It's about time. This deck, I tell you what, it's a blast to play, but it does play very poorly into a lot of the decks I've been run into. So we'll cover that a little bit in the recap, and we'll see you. All right, let's jump into this next match. Hopefully we have a little bit of luck. Ew. Oh man, what the heck? Yeah, we're gonna have to mulligan. There's just... We're gonna have to mulligan again. I guess we will keep that. We will keep Creative Outburst, but we're going to ditch this, and Rutha, we're already going to be behind coming into this match. I'm not sure what's up with that. The shuffler all day has been giving me fits, and it's... I hate it, but what can you do about it? It just is what it is. I'm just going to go ahead and sacrifice it to bring in the artifact already. Great card, but it's awfully expensive, and just use it to be able to get to where you need to be. Okay. We will hit for 2 and create a token. And end turn. I have got a couple cards that are definitely available to me to be able to continue to build some decks within Prismari based off these artifacts. But it's also one of those circumstances where I don't exactly want to, on a regular basis, be really pumping out the artifacts that much. It's not something I want to do. It's something I have to do more so than anything else. Angel of Destiny. I don't think I've seen him before, but I don't like him. Wow. I'm just going to block him. Three damage right there. And we are going to go for this. And we will cast that. Auto pay. And we put the mountain into play. And no tax. End turn. Wow. He's got a solid deck. He's got double strike, so I can't really... Auto pay, zap that. Hate doing that. It is what it is. Let's go ahead and attack. Probably should have played that in the reverse order due to his ability, but I didn't think about it beforehand. My mistake. That's rough. Okay, we'll put this one into our hand and we will grab Spectacle Mage and we will exile this one. And I think this is going to be game. Really not a lot we can do here. Yeah, because once he gains life, he's going to be over the 15 total. Pretty much it. Yeah, good game. Get this over with. Alright, well, let's try again. Alright, so let's talk about this Prismari deck. You kind of see what I did. I kind of eked out that win there. For the most part, it really does struggle against a lot of your creature decks. A couple things to kind of point out about it, though, is I have tweaked this deck a lot. And there was, I kid you not, probably a solid 5-6 games in a row where I kept having to mulligan down to 2 and 3 cards for land, and then I'd get stuck at 2 or 3 cards. And I kid you not, I probably mulliganed through, one time I mulliganed all the way down to 4 cards, and I still couldn't pull anything. And that happened to me probably about 5-6 games in a row. Not sure what the deal was, but sometimes, you know, Magic the Gathering arena, you know, it just happens. But, you know, the thing is with this deck, just pure Strixhaven, it's absolutely a blast. It really is. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you it's like the best deck you're ever going to build. But you can look at this and you can get some ideas of what you can and cannot do. But building just purely Strixhaven as a free-to-play player, I had a ton of fun. This deck here, I'm not even going to lie. I actually played this deck a ton today. And sometimes whenever I do that with these decks that I'm building that are free to play, it feels like a slog, really. But this particular one, it didn't feel that way. It felt like every time I went to a game, as long as I was actually drawing land and actually getting my land, I felt as though I had a shot. And that's really the big thing. If you can go into a game and feel like you had a shot. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I ran into a ton of the mutate decks, the black-blue mutate decks. Those things kill this deck. This thing's way too slow for it. Those things just jump out, and you can't really do much with them. It just kind of is what it is. But those particular decks, I ran into a boatload of those today with this deck. Thing is, you know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, this is a free-to-play deck that when you get down to it, I absolutely had a blast playing. And when you really think about it, that's what it's all about. Thanks for tuning in.